Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Strange Wonders. As always, I'm your host, Mr.G. And today, I have an animal near and dear to my heart. It's deer. It's deer. Deer are any mammal in the Cervidae family. Bearing a resemblance to an elongated goat, there are over 40 species of deer, and they live around the world, except Australia and Antarctica. There's technically deer in Africa, but there's only one species, so, they're barely there. Deer are most famous for their antlers, which males of the family grow. Unlike horns, which are permanent function, antlers are temporary. Males grow them annually before falling off. The antlers can be used to defend themselves, but their main function is for males to fight each other during mating season. If two males like the same female, then they will fight each other by locking antlers and pushing each other around until someone backs off. Now that we got characteristics of the family out of the way, let's highlight some specifics. Except moose. Moose have their own video. So if you want moose, then yeah, go there. The white-tailed deer, Odacellus virginianus. Named after their white tails, these are probably the most famous deer. White-tailed deer have a notable way of protecting their babies from predators. For the first few weeks of their life, the baby hides in tall grass while their mother goes out to graze, and when she visits them, she will lick the fawn cleanly to ensure that he has no smell. Because, a lot of predators track by smell, so no smell, no predators finding you. Unfortunately, this method has one drawback, but that's a human thing, so we'll get back to that later. The mule deer, Odacellus hymenodus. A close relative of the white-tail, mule deer got their name because of their big ears, which resemble those of a mule. That's all there is to say there, really. One strange variety of deer is the water deer, Hydromoptes inermis. These guys are the only species that don't grow antlers, but as you can probably see by this image, they instead have large fangs like a vampire. But these fangs are still used for fighting, they don't suck blood or anything. The elk, Cervus canadenus, has a funny story behind its name. You see, elk was originally what Europeans called moose, and when they came to America, they thought the elk were the American equivalent of the moose, so they called them elk. Eventually, the difference was split, and these guys became elk while the moose became the moose. So yeah, funny story. The caribou, Rangifer tyrannidus, also known as the reindeer, is a species native to the far north. They have long, shaggy coats to protect themselves from the chilly weather, and their hooves are designed to be better at navigating the more slippery environments of the ice. Caribou are notable for being the only deer species where females consistently grow antlers, though they do it at different times than the males, and their antlers tend to be shorter. So that's deer for you. Let's talk about humans and deer, because it's kind of a mess. Since humans have learned how to hunt, deer have been a popular target for hunting. Not only do they provide a large amount of meat, but the antlers can be a good trophy for a hunter. And because of this relationship, a lot of stories have been told over the years of people hunting deer. But it goes both ways, as deer are pretty dangerous to humans, as when aggressive, they have been known to severely injure or sometimes kill people. Oh, by the way, more people are killed yearly by deer than by sharks. Just saying. In media, deer tend to be portrayed as rather dainty creatures, and they're often used as symbols for cuteness and serenity. The most famous fictional deer is Bambi, from the story of the same name. This movie deals with a deer growing up and the hardships along the way. This movie is often pointed to for the dainty stereotype, but this movie had a pretty bad impact on deer. You see, in the movie, Bambi's mom is killed, and this leaves him without a mother. And because of that, people upon seeing a fawn by itself assume that their mother was killed or abandoned them, so they end up taking the deer away. Like I said earlier, this is normal behavior for white-tailed deer, and their mother isn't that far away. But sadly, because of the movie, people assume that the deer was orphaned and end up taking them to zoos or wildlife places with a well-intentioned but ultimately harmful mindset that they're helping them. So remember, you see a baby deer alone in the grass, leave it alone. It's fine. And besides, deer are actually pretty capable of defending themselves at a pretty young age. Deer only live for their mothers for about a month before leaving, so deer, they mature quickly. And even worse, some people raise them as pets until they're grown, which leads to them basically losing any survival instinct. In fact, the original book that Bambi is based on actually had something exactly like this happen. In the book, Bambi's cousin is taken by humans before being released as an adult, but because of being raised by humans, he's convinced he's friends with them. And he gets shot due to walking right up to a hunter. Another deer-related issue caused by humans is the overpopulation of deer that happen in North America. Because of the mass wolf hunting campaign reducing their numbers, it meant that a main predator, the deer, was now basically eliminated. And this caused the deer to explode in numbers, causing massive ecological problems as now deer were stripping areas clean of vegetation, which hurt the smaller animals since now they had nothing to eat in order to hide from their predators. Luckily, though, thanks to the efforts of wolf reintroduction, it's been really helping the numbers, and many places like Yellowstone are returning to their pre-wolf extermination conditions. Anyway, on a lighter note, caribou, or reindeer, are famous for their association with Christmas time, as Santa Claus is depicted as having his sleigh being carried around by 8 flying reindeer. Although it should be noted that in a lot of Christmas specials, reindeer are depicted as looking like white-tailed deer instead of their actual appearance. So yeah, deer are very dear to humans, despite all the crap that's happened between us.